Hello, guys. You are listening to the Millennial Marketers Podcast, the show for aspiring marketers, marketing professionals, and business owners. My name is Daniel.
And I'm Jamal, and we are two millennial agency owners from London with a passion for all things marketing.
On this podcast, we'll be sharing insights, discussion, and advice on marketing, digital culture, and sometimes we'll be even chatting to people with inspiring stories.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about social media and how it's used in lockdown by brands and how you can use it as well for both your business and your personal branding as well. Should we roll the intro, Daniel?
Let's roll it.
It's quite simple.
Millennial Marketers.
So, Daniel, we're stuck indoors, hey?
Yeah. Well, I like to say with a bit of optimistic sound, but yes, we are, and we gotta address and act accordingly. Mm-hmm. So that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, for us, it's like a little bit different because like we're business partners and we're stuck indoors together. Obviously, with your girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
And we are missing one of our flatmates.
We are, yeah.
We are. We're using this time just to create content that we wouldn't normally have time to do. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit, as a social media agency that we run, obviously you'd think that most people would be like, okay, well, that's fine. You should be doing better than ever because, everyone's more on social media than they were before.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case, is it?
No, it's not. I think for me as a personal side of using social media and stuff, I've always been known for being the guy who overthinks stuff, and sometimes I caught myself sort of overthinking even more now because I have more time.
Yeah.
So you overthink and you're trying to increase the level of quality. You're trying to make all these extra things, and it avoids and basically stops me from posting.
Yeah, it puts more pressure on yourself.
Yeah, it does. And you're trying to, oh my God, I can't go to these fancier places to make it easier for me to show off cool stuff or whatever. So yeah, the creativity needs to jump forward now.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is from a business side, a lot of brands, they're like just stopped. A lot of them just paused their social media in total, or paused their entire marketing in social, which means like the bigger brands that a lot of agencies work with, they're just they're calling it quits and just like, well, we'll just wait for this to be over. Which is obviously in the advertising and marketing world is crazy. There's lots of people that are just they're all on furlough, which you wouldn't expect from this industry, from the digital marketing industry. When everything goes digital and stops being in the real world, it's the complete opposite of what you'd expect.
I know.
So it's very interesting.
It's super tough, like for people who just graduated or about to graduate in marketing field. They're struggling with, well, what do I do? How do I get experience now? Like if companies are either stopping their marketing activities, or they're just not hiring, or they're not getting internships or anything. So it's a bad cycle in general.
If I was coming out of uni right now and trying to go down the traditional creative or the traditional marketing path, I don't know what I would be thinking right now. Like, I feel so bad for those kind of people because it's literally like, what do they do now? Like, are they meant to just go get a job like they were meant to? Like, most of the agencies, like the bigger agencies, especially here in the UK, in London, they're all gone on break, or they're not taking on new staff like they were before. It's a crazy experience, and it's a weird thing to be graduating at a time like this.
Yeah, it is. I guess freelance jobs are what they should seek.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I have seen quite a bigger amount of freelancer jobs. So maybe that's the best way to go forwards. Is just take up and try and get a load of as many things onto your CV as you can right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have that extra time, so you can spend time at home. I don't know, doing social media management for a startup company or something like that. You don't know. You no longer have the sort of guilt of like, oh, your friends are going out because the weather is like amazing, or so. Yeah,
exactly. You might as well be a little bit more productive, and there's loads of great sites they can do those kind of things on. You've got like People Per Hour, Juno, at least in the UK, and in America you've got Upwork and Freelancer. Some of them are a little harder to get onto, and you might need a little bit of previous work experience.
That's true.
But that's not too hard to get if just offer some stuff to do for free. You know, if you're stuck indoors and you're not going to get paid either way, you might as well get something down towards your CV.
Honestly,
that can really help you.
I actually saw Gary Vee talked about this concept of doing stuff for free.
Yeah,
just for now. Just get those experience. It doesn't matter if you're trying to go the traditional route or trying to start your own, whatever. Just do the things for free, because that testimonial that you can get after doing a bit of a good job is gold worth.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, like, we're obviously making content and stuff, and also doing the small amount of work for our company that we still can during this time. But the if we were just stuck at home just doing nothing, I can't imagine how boring that would be. 4 months on end. Like, eventually, like, I've had periods like that in my life, like, a couple of weeks where I've just had nothing. I've been completely unemployed, completely, doing nothing. And it goes through your head. You just get so bored that you just want to do anything. So if you've got that free time and you're just going to be stuck at home bored, go for it.
Honestly.
What's it like doing, personal branding as a whole during this kind of like lockdown period? For yourself?
For myself? Well, I have to wave the white flag or admit that I haven't done much. I have done a lot of planning, and I think a lot of the people who know me is going to say that he's been planning for a year. Yeah. So last time I posted was a year ago.
Oh, on Instagram?
On Instagram, yeah. So for myself, I've been so focused on doing it for clients and everything, and just observing platforms. So I've used my personal profile to just observe TikTok and Instagram and just see how they
lurker is what some people call it.
That's a good word for it. So planning a lot, and basically what I've planned now that I will start very, very soon is basically sort of cut the bullshit in that sense and just put out like the authentic me instead of so much filtering and trying to not just put the right image out, but just overthinking how my feed looks like and all these kind of things. So that's one thing. And then storytelling, because I think this is where the practice of storytelling is going to be exposed. Because if you're out and about, you're going for lunch or whatever, it's pretty easy to follow that day as a story. But if you're home, you got to find a creative way to make a story out of your daily routine. The real creativity comes out, like, because before it was very easy just to put, like, kind of throw money towards stuff, towards content in your own personal brand. It's just like, okay, well, I'm going to go to do this lunch, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it just for Instagram or just for TikTok or just to show online that that I'm doing these cool things throughout the day, even if you're not enjoying it that much. But now you're stuck here, like, people are stuck indoors. They have to be creative. It really forces you. It's like, I was always told back when I was doing more creative stuff, when I was younger, that the best time to be creative is when you are stuck in a non-creative piece of work. When you're stuck working, like when I was doing my sales job back when I was younger, I had never had more ideas than when I was working in that role, because I was so bored from doing that job throughout the day that whenever there was spare time, all my brain could think about was go, okay, let's put all of that energy, obviously when I'm not one-to-one with a customer, into, okay, what could I be doing instead? What's a cool idea I could do for this? And that was, where I got a lot of the ideas I did back when I was doing YouTube for, a lot of my YouTube ideas. So try to use the boredomness and then the creativity to escape.
Yeah, because when you're stuck inside a box, it's a lot easier to think outside the box.
Oh, deep.
Someone put it on a t-shirt. Someone make that into a graphic. We'll put it on Instagram. You'll get 1,000 likes. It's all good.
There you go.
Gary Vee would be proud.
I'm sure he would. Hustle mentality.
But yeah, overall, I think for other people that are doing personal branding and they're looking to those things, obviously you got the planning. We've both been doing that planning ourselves. We've both got like our own little plan that's slightly different from each other. Within our personal branding, we both have different platforms that we cater towards, and different audiences as well. In terms of like routines, what do you think is quite important for people when doing personal branding in a time like this?
to be honest, it all depends on what kind of personal brand you're trying to sort of expose, or what industry are you trying to speak to. But routines is literally like your daily routine. If it helps you to create a daily routine by trying to think about what you can post, well, good for you. But if you have a daily routine of, I don't know, like myself, waking up, having my water and lime, doing my stretching, my morning workout, if it's sunny, tan a little bit, read a book, or if not, just listen to a podcast. And then after that, make some food, all these kind of things until I then start working, which is usually around 3 to 4, and then showcase your work, whatever that work is. It can be a workout, your work, or whatever. So living in those routines makes it easier for you to also create content, but also post it, because you can say every Tuesday I do this normally, like the pillar system we always talk about. So I think that's the important bit. And
the thing is once you have those kind of like systems in place as well, it makes all the other things, like for example like community management, so much easier, because then you're able to like reach out to people and keep it around those kind of content structures and content pillars that you're already talking about, because a lot of community management, it starts with outreach before it starts with like responding to
I agree.
incoming stuff. And so if you're doing a day that's, for example, as you said, like workouts, and it's just about your workout and stuff, you can just reach out to people and start making stories on Instagram or TikToks, or jump on a live somewhere and just do like a Q&A. You can, jump into comments of other people and just be like, hey, really cool workout. I'd love if you, check mine out and give me some tips. And those kind of things, it's just having those genuine conversations, as we always say, being social on social media. It makes it so much better. And so a good routine, good planning, but I think the other thing is it's not over planning, because sometimes you can get stuck in the logo. And I'm not saying you do,
but it is me. It is.
But a lot of people, when they're first starting out, they get stuck in the logo phase, or this has to look. And I've been, this is me this week. We've been starting a new brand on our Millennial Media, and I've spent about 2 hours trying to decide between which shade of yellow. But you don't want to get too stuck in that moment, because you do need to get out there, start creating stuff. As you said, if you're stuck in that box, the best thing that will get you out of it is by thinking outside of it.
I also find that, once you then start posting a little bit irrationally, if that's even a word, no, if you start doing that, it just becomes a routine of not overthinking, and it becomes easier. And then once you've done one live, or you've done, I don't know, a collaboration or something, you've DM'd 10 people and you started a conversation with 2 or 3, it becomes like natural to you. It becomes more easy. And it's not like a burden.
Like when we run two podcasts. And like we're only 10 minutes into this one so far, but we've already finished filming and recording our the second episode of our other podcast. And I can tell straight away that our second episode of both of these so far is way more comfortable, way more chilled, and way more relaxed.
For sure.
So much better for the audience, hopefully. It is. But because, we've got into the rhythm of it and we've understood how it works.
If you warm up, you find it's like finding your seat.
Exactly.
Like, well, how do I sit? I'm like probably touching this like a million times, and then one time
and that's the thing. Once you get used to it and you start making these things, as you said, exactly, it's just, it becomes comfortable, and then it's easier to make those content.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what we are going to do today is we're going to go through some main things that as businesses they can do for social media in lockdown. So we've got a couple of different kind of like headings, and then we've got some brands that we'll be going through of some examples and stuff.
Really cool.
If Jamal the editor is good, if you're watching this on the YouTube, I would have put up some examples onto the screen.
I have them here on my computer, so while we speak I can see the examples. So if we somehow can, even though it's a little bit more difficult than it sounds,
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's just long, and editor Jamal, which is me, just when I edit, it's just a little lazy.
Jamal, come on, do it.
Also, I'm using a very old laptop, because I am waiting for my new one to come.
He's been saying that for 3 weeks.
I have been saying that for 3 weeks. Once Dell released the Dell XPS 9500.
Probably released it by the time this comes out.
Hopefully they have, but I wouldn't be surprised. So the first thing that we'll go through is that when you're making, obviously social media stuff on during this lockdown period, and you're making content, it's important to be aware of what will be useful and what will be useful and valuable at this time, and what will not be. Well, how should I say? Crossing the line a little. It's very easy. We, especially myself, figured this out very quickly at the very start of the whole lockdown period, as this whole pandemic issue was happening. For one of our clients, we were doing something, and it was quite a big client, and a post went up. We tailored it, made sure that it was not talking about being outside. It was very good, but the simplest of thing just made it so that we got hundreds of comments of people just being like, I don't feel like this is right, and things, and it had to be pulled within 10 minutes. And that's just something that you have to learn. And then we realized from that type of content wasn't working for that client, and based on their audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny because the organization has quite a few brands, and someone else posted the exact same thing on one of the other brands, and they had no issue. Yeah. So it was very weird. It's just that particular audience felt that. So it's good to know who the audience is, know what upsets them, what they find interesting.
Yeah, test and learn. And it was luckily you got, like the brand, we didn't post anything that was sort of rude, directly rude. So
it was the same stuff that they always post, just a little bit more tailored away from being because they're a very out and brow brand. They're very like social based.
But it's nice because I think the feedback was that it was nice to see that the brand listened.
Yeah,
they listened to the audience saying, "Well, this is not cool." Mm-hmm. They were like, "You know what?
Like we won't say the name of the brand, but it's an alcohol brand, and the issue was that there was two glasses being like clinked together, and it was inside. It was it wasn't outside or anything, but people had an issue of two glasses being clinked together, two hands. That means that people are together. And it's like, they're not social distancing. And this was in late February.
Was quite early, actually.
Like this was late February, very early in the pandemic, way before lockdown had happened.
Yeah.
And people were not happy with that. And as I said, there was a very similar thing happened to another one of their brands, another alcohol brand that was completely brushed over. No issue with it at all. And the
marketing
was,
for you.
I know, it's that is marketing. You never really know until you go for it. Yeah. But there are some overall different things that a lot of brands are kind of sticking to. Do you want to go through the first one?
Yeah. So the first one, the headline basically is helping the community. Mm-hmm. So these are a couple of brands that have been good at putting out a very easy sort of campaign to promote community that they're trying to serve. The first example is from ASOS. Basically, they were sending treats to those who had weddings, honeymoons, any kind of big events canceled. So I don't actually know what the treats were. Mm-hmm. I could imagine some clothing or something.
Yeah, I'm assuming it'd be something like that. There was another brand that did that as well, which was Bloom Gin. Yeah, so they were sending out little versions of their like gin treaters to the bride and groom and their guest list. Mm-hmm. Obviously, to be able to say to their guests, like, sorry that we had to cancel this.
Exactly.
And then, I would have really liked if they'd taken it to the next step and helped them set up like a giant Zoom wedding. And then like everyone that got one of those, that they could all drink it together on the thingy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like their wedding party that they never got to have. So that they could have taken it another step further.
That's true.
And it would have been even more personal then, because those people, they would have had an experience that they would never have had otherwise.
Yeah. That's a good point. I like that idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Bloom Gin, if you want to get in touch.
Listen.
But yeah, I think that's a really great way to kind of jump in. It's jumping in those communities of those people that are having issues and being directly affected by what's going on.
Yeah. Another one, slightly different. I think a lot of people have seen this. Is McCann Belgrade. That's their full name, I think. Mm-hmm. Basically, they showed tribute to the NHS workers by showing pictures of individuals, and then the mark of the mask was marked as a superhero. So I think they did that over Instagram or something. It's been really well received, and I've thought it was creatively well performed. It wasn't a big sort of help, like physical help or money help, but it was really nice to admire them as superheroes, because they are.
Yeah, it is. And the best thing about those things is it's like, one, it plays on the patriotic thing that's happening right now. Obviously, the NHS people are absolutely superheroes and stuff, but they're getting a lot more support than they normally would, obviously. So it's jumping on a trend like that, even though obviously it's not just a trend, but it is something.
It can be discussed as a trend.
It can be,
if you want to, have pros and cons or question their actions, if it's like.
But it doesn't take itself too seriously at the same time. That's the other thing. Is it's not like, because it knows it's cheesy. It knows that like putting them in a superhero outfit is cheesy, and so it's not being like like it's not taking it too seriously. Which hopefully the NHS people, I'm hoping that's exactly what they would think. And there was another one that I saw actually. The Leon, they did the thing on Twitter where they offered 50% to NHS workers. And Pret then did that a day later. Actually, it wasn't a day, it was a couple of hours after, actually. So like on Twitter, obviously they did it on other platforms as well, but it was quite big on Twitter. Where Leon put it out, so they were going to give 50% off to NHS workers back in early March, I think this was. It was before the lockdown itself happened. Like before it went full lockdown. And then Pret came out straight after. And then the next day, Itsu did it as well. And they both were all three were also offering free coffees to anyone. And which I think until they closed, they closed down because of the lockdown. They were still doing free coffees.
That's good.
So that's quite good. I think, and what I think is useful about that is that you don't have to worry about copying someone when it comes to these things. When it's helping the communities, no one's going to get mad that you've copied an idea, because you're all doing stuff to help people in this time. It's a branding decision rather than just profit. Exactly. It's putting the customers and the audience first. So a good advice for some other people is maybe actually check what your competitors are doing, see if it's something that you can join in on, and even like talk to your competitors and see if they if they need help, because doing these kind of things, they are bad for the bottom line in terms of business and things, and also sometimes it can take a lot of effort and a lot of time, and if you've got two of you, two companies both working on this
proof of concept,
exactly, you can give even more help to the people that you're trying to help.
What else? We had mental health and care as a headline for companies addressing towards that. We had a group of therapists, I don't know in which country, but they sort of decided to run online treatments for people who are in need for them, because of the sort of whole coping of living by yourself alone, not being able to go out. Some people have also lived in, as you were saying earlier when we were speaking off mic, people were living in situations or houses that are not the best situation. There could be domestic abuse issues, or you could have parents that aren't so great towards their kids, or and so it's I'm assuming this is a thing where it's that they can go there and have those chats with those people, and they don't even have to pay. No, it's free. They said it, at least that's what we sort of have found out, that it was for free, and they used Instagram as a platform. And it's also interesting to see that Instagram changed they have a GIF that normally says "Ask me any question" or something. They changed that to "How can I help?" So I don't know if that was like a collaboration or something, but they've changed it for that.
Okay, so I like this because it's the idea of like giving out what we always say is it's like giving out free value first, and actually giving out, if you give them everything, and one, you're going to be seen as the expert in your field and stuff, but it's also you create that straight connection. In this case, like it's not easy to get a new therapist, so once they eventually go out and this is all over, they can go straight to these people because they've already built that trust, that connection, and they'll probably end up paying. Some of them will end up paying and continuing them to be their therapist
for sure,
in person.
Yeah, it's good. This one, which one of my favorites, and we definitely somehow are gonna show it, even though I know copyright, we can't show exactly with sound and everything. But Budweiser, they relaunched their "What's up?" Campaign.
Hello?
Hey, who? What's up?
Nothing, B. In quarantine. Having a bud. What's up with you?
Nothing. Quarantining, having a bud.
True.
What's up?
Which is not identifying. It is sort of is pushing on the button of reaching out to your friends.
Yeah.
Calling them and saying, "Hey, what's up? Are you okay? How are you doing?" And yeah, it was just a very nostalgic approach and a campaign that resonated with me personally, and I think it's been well received as far as I'm aware of.
Yeah, it seems to be well received. Everyone loves the whole "was up" thing, and so it's that coming back. It's like it's good. Like, it's not at the stage yet where it's annoying because it's not everywhere.
Yeah.
Back in like the 1990s, although I wasn't that old then. I was very young. It was still everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like Rebecca Black's Friday. Like, it's at the start, you're like, oh, okay, it's a funny thing, and then it's like, okay, the song is like, it's driving me crazy. And
yeah.
When everyone in your school was like, "What's up? What's up?" You're like, okay, I've had enough. And so, luckily, it hasn't got to that bit, and I think they've realised that from the first time they did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. It's a good touch to have that kind of nostalgia, going through something that we're all going through, which is, struggling whether we're, keeping up with everyone.
Yeah.
That lack of social, connection. I really like that one. So another thing that a lot of businesses could do, and that a lot of them are doing, is supporting smaller businesses, mm-hmm. or self-employed people, or just generally employees or workers as a whole. So there was the one with another magazine.
Yeah.
So they launched a campaign called #CultureIsNotCancelled. So they did this thing where they were supporting creatives who had their projects cancelled, and allowed them to kind of create for another magazine. And obviously you'd think in the context of that, okay, so they're just getting free work. They don't have to pay their creatives. It's like, okay, no, but for these people that are working in these creative fields, that means getting into a magazine like that's got quite high exclusivity. Mm-hmm. That is giving them the extra boost that they needed after having that big defeat of the cancellation of their projects. So I really like that, because it shows that it's not just about giving money back. There's a lot of businesses that are going out giving money towards
organizations,
NHS
workers.
There's a lot of some of the clients we've worked with have been given money towards, like, the alcohol brands are giving money to the drinks trust, so that people can bartenders have money during this time if they've been let go.
Yeah, they support the communities.
Exactly. Yeah, supporting the communities, supporting the small businesses and the things. And if you've got the money and you're a bigger brand, go for it.
Oh yeah,
the PR and the and just the feeling of helping your community and your industry is great. But it doesn't always have to be about money. What another magazine has done, that I really like. I really like that.
Yeah, it's like playing Simon Sinek recent book is Infinite Game versus Finite Game. So it's playing whatever that you want. Ideally, you should play the infinite game, so long term instead of finite. So yeah,
100%.
So yes, we have one more, which we have a lot more examples of. We're just going to go through a few of them, which is about changing the brand approach. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of creative and very simple examples of this. One that's very simple is from them. I think it's a magazine, right? Online magazine. It's called Time Out.
Yeah, both online and digital.
Yeah.
Offline and digital.
Offline, yeah. So basically, instead of saying Time Out, which is identifying outside, getting magazines physical, mm-hmm. They said Time In. So they rebranded as a Time In to say, hey, let's gather together inside our homes. Let's read inside our homes, which was an easy campaign. And I think they did something they followed up with more entertainment, what to do inside, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's complete rebrand of what they do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really cool.
There's another company that did that in less of like metaphorical sense of just in terms of content, but as a whole, Louis Vuitton. So obviously they make perfumes, but because of that, they use a lot of alcohol. They use a lot of things. The setup to make a perfume is very similar to make hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
So they just changed their entire factory systems in order to make hand gel for French hospitals at no extra cost.
One of the best PR things they've ever done.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. And because of that, there was another company, Brewdog, which is a UK beer company.
Yeah.
Because they make alcohol. It's not that different in the way you make beer, the way you make hand sanitizers. So they also did that. And they've both got their own branding on it and stuff. And, it's not to sell. They've both given it away completely to free to the people that need it. But yeah, as a PR move, both of them absolutely great.
Oh yeah.
So you can change your content style, and if you're a publication, you can change your editorial style and stuff like that. But you can also just change exactly what you do if it doesn't take too much effort.
Exactly. I love that. I think a lot of companies been really good at doing that. Another one is Leon. Again, we mentioned them earlier. So they are known for selling kind of restaurant foods. But they decided to then sell supermarket food, grocery store items. And it's very easy for them because they already get ingredients and they know the right buyers and everything. So they just decided to sell that instead. And I think they did it through Deliveroo and stuff like that. And I think they also, like a lot of other restaurants have done, ready meals.
Yeah.
So that's an easy, simple way of taking advantage of the resources that you already have and just kind of twisting them.
But also, there's a couple of other brands that have done it where it's not even gone you don't even have to go that far and spend that much money or time. Like Skyscanner, they created a Spotify playlist inspired by different cultures and travel opportunities that obviously people can't travel, so it's things that they're missing out on. So you had a Bahamas playlist, and stuff like that, and it was inspired by that culture and the music from there. And they did a lot of research, so there was a small amount of time that went into that.
Yeah,
but it doesn't cost a lot of money. It doesn't take that much time. It's nice and simple, and it still helps. So instead of they can't do what their job is, which is flights. So they've changed to a playlist company. It's simple, It doesn't always have to be crazy.
No.
So the next one is obviously what we were saying before. It's what we talk about a lot is offering free content. So offering what you do and stuff. If you can't do it, if you're a company that works in person, then you do it online instead, and you offer it completely for free. So there was the Met Opera in New York. They did a live stream of a few performances every night while they were closed. So they could, the people they were going to pay their staff no matter what. So they might as well get them to do some work. And then they can share that to everyone else. And that's a great marketing thing, because how many people even know what the music or the people that the Met Opera sounds like? Of it, but you don't get to experience it. And now they've had that small glimpse. Next time, once this is all over, they'll go back to, when they go back to New York, they'll go, you know what, I remember that thing that was 100%. Really good. I want to see it in person.
You're planting that tree or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, planting the seed.
Yeah, seed. Yeah, there we go. I think Google did another one. It's actually, I think I have it here. Google Arts and Culture. They sort of, because Google have access to all these museums around the world, and basically through virtual technology, they showcase the art inside of each of one of those museums. So yeah, basically you can go to a museum while being at home. So for us, we could have just put the projector on and just go into, I don't know what kind of museums they have, but just go in and watch them. For someone who loves that kind of thing, that's that's ideal.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So next one, helpful content. So basically content that is helpful for whoever's watching it. If I may, one of the favorite ones we both discussed and found was Burger King from France specifically, who showed how to make their own, the best sellers of Burger King. They showed how they can be made by yourself at home with ingredients that you can buy in grocery stores.
Yeah, I really like that one a lot, because it's getting people still talking about and still eating their food, and they're actually making it themselves. They're going out of their way to make their food, and so they're still thinking of Burger King when they're having their meals at home. Which is really good, because it's keeping that brand association alive. KFC, we noticed the other day, because we were actually going to do it and make it ourselves. Was they released their 7 or 11 herbs and spices that make up their breadcrumb coating, and they released it for free so people could make their fried chicken from home. Which was really interesting. I really like that. Because it's literally a secret that people have always wanted to know, and they've finally released it, and everyone's excited and they get to try it. And then McDonald's also done something really simple as well, which was they put in how to make their hash browns.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Breakfast thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really simple. It's just potato. That's it. It's just potato and butter.
Okay.
But they put this really nice thingy out, and it started because someone tweeted them saying, "Hey, I really want your hash browns. What I wish I could have your hash browns in the morning, but I'm stuck inside." And then they replied back,
nice,
and went, "Here, you can make it at home." And then they made a very quick graphic. So it's really great example of taking a small community management thing and then being able to use that to propel yourself to, which eventually it got such a big PR news story. It was everywhere. Forbes, the BBC, everyone picked that up.
Love it.
It was great.
All right. Next headline would be virtual participation. We have a list of companies here. We have Burger King again, I can see. I'm going to go for Lululemon, which basically did virtual workouts. Okay. They invited their audience to join along. And then they actually asked them what kind of workouts they wanted. And they provided them. I think they did live as well. So that was a good, easy way of doing it, and true to brand. So
yeah, I like that. Like getting people to jump in digitally, it's great. And it does. Again, a lot of these things don't need to be complicated.
Nope.
Like even Royal Academy. Did you see this one? It was that they asked people to send their drawings in over Twitter, and so like they literally just wrote, "Who can draw us the best ham?" And then like a bunch of people were drawing them the best ham. So it's like really simple.
That's
stuff.
Super simple. I love that. I love that one.
Like, it doesn't need to be these complex things. Obviously, some of these stuff we're giving are like massive brands that are doing these crazy things that cost a lot of money. Like Louis Vuitton's thing, I think it cost them tens and tens of millions of pounds.
It's production.
But this is literally just 2 seconds. Just who can draw us the best ham?
Yeah. I love that. Another one that we both love, Chipotle.
Yeah.
I miss Chipotle.
Oh, I miss Chipotle so much. Go for it.
They basically hosted video chats with different celebrities while they were eating, as a sort of a lunch entertainment. So basically sit down and have lunch with a celebrity. Unfortunately we couldn't eat Chipotle, but yeah, it was an interesting move. I don't know what to think about it much more than that, but it worked.
Did you see what they did with David Dobrik recently on TikTok?
No, I didn't. Okay,
so they did this thing where they've been partnered with David Dobrik for a while. And they partnered with him, and they were like, "Oh, you guys know that I have a Chipotle card, a Chipotle celeb card, which lets me, eat for free for a whole year, and I can have up to 5 burritos a day." And he went, "I'm going to be giving, thanks to Chipotle, 5 more celeb cards out to people on here. All you need to do is make a video, and like with their hashtag and stuff, just saying why you deserve it." And then they like 5 of like the TikTok creators created these really good things, and then just straight in the comments, David Dobrik jumps in and is just like, you got a card coming.
I love that.
It's so good.
He's really good at doing those
like sponsored things.
Yeah, well, he did another one which I wanted or something.
Oh yeah,
he made creatives to sort of make a video and do the same thing.
Like tell me if you're a upcoming creator, tell me that you want it. And then like people work with things, and that's the thing, is like you can get people to create content for you.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done, and they're so good at those things. And it's on a platform like TikTok, they're able to get TikTok celebrities to try really hard. Like people with millions, like there was one of the people that won was the Only Jayus, which she makes videos about how like psychology facts and stuff like that. And she's like one of the big like early starters on there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got like 9 million on TikTok, and she's trying as hard as she can to get that Chipotle thing. So she's creating content after like day after day after day to 9 million of her fans. And like, it's such good free promotion.
It's amazing.
So the other one was just before we go on to the next section is just the Burger King one.
Oh yeah.
Where they offered I know you really like this one, which is where they offered a free Whopper for anyone using a Zoom background of their out-of-home billboard ad.
Yeah.
So because they can't run their billboard ads, especially the out-of-home stuff because everyone's stuck indoors, they gave people a free Whopper in order to basically advertise for them.
It's a traditional marketer who got his will. It's
Exactly.
like, I need those billboard award ads.
Also, if you add up the price of all of those like Whoppers, like how much it would cost Burger King themselves, and say they do it to 50,000 people, that's 50,000 people they're reaching that they would originally reach, say, with that billboard ad, but a fraction of the cost.
It's amazing. All right. One more headline for you is reducing fake news. So during these times, there's a lot of WhatsApp news. There's a lot of Facebook news. So a lot of organizations have trying to minimize the fake news percentage. So Instagram and WHO, World Health Organization, partnered with this famous Instagram account. I think a lot of people have seen him. Is a dude with sign.
Yeah.
And basically using him to share reliable and trustworthy information. And obviously in his captions, he would tag WHO. And I just say WHO because I don't want to say the whole word.
The World Health Organization.
Yeah. So basically use that as kind of an influencer campaign, which is really interesting. And good example.
Yeah, I really like that. I also saw the Google Doodle, doodle that comes up on Google, that they also partnered with WHO, World Health Organization, and they used they kind of shared their guidelines for washing your hands properly.
Yeah.
So the most used website on the planet, and people jump straight in there, and it comes up. The first thing they see is someone washing their hands.
Yep.
So that one I really liked.
Yeah. There's another one you like.
Yeah.
Seed.
Yeah.
Would you tell it?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a big hater on supplement brands, but I really liked this one, Seed, because they realized that there's a lot of fake news when it comes to supplements and how overly promising they are with certain illnesses and stuff like that. And they didn't want to be part of that. So they just decided to pause all their ads. And they didn't just pause their ads. They created a Facebook an Instagram organic post in the style of what an advert looks like when it's come up on a social media platform, it had the line, "Our ads are staying the fuck home," which I thought was really good, a good playful thing, a little hit against their competition, a little stirring in the pot. So it gets a nice mix of PR, firing up against the competition, also showing the humanity, bringing yourself back down to earth, the virality aspect. Overall, it hits a lot of points.
It does. All right. Working from home is the next headline. We had a few examples here. We had BBDO, which is an ad agency. I actually didn't know about it until I found this example. Basically, they were helping team members to create custom email signatures based on their home addresses.
Okay.
So it wasn't just the office address, it was their home address. And it was a very playful campaign in that, if I call it a campaign, it's a playful move. But how much revenue that's going to generate, how much brand equity, brand awareness and stuff, I don't know. But
Yeah, I think it's less about like the ROI and like revenue and stuff like that. It's more about being able to like it's the use of like company culture and like that like corporate communications aspect of making them feel like that, and then they're pushing out to others. If they feel happy and they're going to share their email out, their new signature, it's promote. They're going to promote it for you, and the employers are going to show that they're happy in a time when a lot of other people aren't. And so I think that's from a more corporate communications aspect. I think it's nice. It's a little fluffy.
But, it's cool,
But it's a nice little thing. Again, not everything needs to be complicated.
Yeah, super simple.
Again, keeping it nice and simple. TM Lewin. So obviously everyone's working from home. Everyone's doing Zoom calls and stuff like that. And not everyone is dressed completely from the way up. For the people that are watching at on the YouTube, you can see right now, I am not got anything properly under here.
Don't worry, he has trousers on.
So yeah, I do have pants on for everyone listening, but I am just in tracksuit bottoms and then a shirt on top, and a lot of people are like this at the moment. So TM Lewin, the people that make what they're very well known for their high quality shirts, and they made some social graphics making light of getting dressed for work at home. So just doing the top half, which is nice and simple. It's playful.
We can show that.
Yeah, we'll pop that up. But yeah, I like those ones. Just the working from home, keeping it nice and simple.
Yeah. Speaking of home, the next one is home education. So we have the adults and we have also the younger crowd. One of the companies that we did consultancy for, Vogue, so another section of theirs, Teen Vogue, basically hosted a virtual prom night. A prom. And they did that in partnership with Axe, and it's in English it's called something else.
Yeah, we call it Links over here.
Okay, in Denmark it's also called Axe.
Oh, you call it Axe as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm used to naming it like that. So yeah, they partnered up and they hosted a virtual prom. I don't know how they actually worked out, but the initiative is amazing.
It's well known Links here as being the like thing that teenagers put way too much on.
Yeah.
It's like oh no, you smell like a 14-year-old boy. And stuff. Yeah. And they know their target market quite well.
Sure.
And so the fact that the Teen Vogue has partnered with that company, really, really good example of two brands coming together that wouldn't normally.
Yeah, for sure.
For something that really fits right in the moment. One that I have been seeing a lot of people doing, a lot of friends have been going along as well, not just the kids, is Joe Wicks. If you're in the UK, you most likely heard of Joe Wicks. He does live streaming daily PE lessons for kids across the UK on YouTube. And it was getting so popular at some point that the BBC were literally just live playing that at the time that was meant to, like he was live streaming on YouTube. So that all of the kids across the country that were either at home or the key worker kids that were in schools, they could all still get their exercise that they needed. And I thought that was a great example of making sure everyone can do what they can, showing off what you can do. Again, they all kind of link together. Giving your free stuff, helping the community, home education, it all kind of like ties together, and I think that's a really good example of it.
So for the final headline and list of examples, we have light entertainment. We had one actually example that went viral. I can't even say the word, which was Shed Aquarium.
Shed Aquarium.
Shed Aquarium. I'm sorry. But basically they let out one of their penguins, or at least that was one penguin on the video, and basically it was discovering the zoo from our perspective somehow. They were looking at other animals and just walking around being super cute and stuff.
And that was really, really cute.
Very wholesome kind of tweet.
Exactly. It's something you wouldn't see every day, and even if you went to there to their aquarium, you'd never see the penguins actually out. It also, it's good for the animals because like the penguins get to, stretch their legs a bit and not feel too cooped up and get some interaction. overall, it's just nice, wholesome.
Super wholesome.
I liked Chester Zoo did a similar thing, but they kind of streamed a Facebook Live where they as the camera walked around the zoo as if you yourself was at the zoo, so you could still kind of access the zoo and kind of just like go through that experience. Again, it kind of matches with other stuff. It's giving stuff away for free. It's educational, but it's just nice light entertainment that doesn't need to take itself too seriously.
Yeah. Should we use one more example?
Go for it.
What's it called? Dettol?
Oh, Dettol. Yeah.
Dettol. Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm British. I can't help it.
Dettol. I'm sorry, British people. Use TikTok for a hand washing challenge. Yeah. And that was a super easy. First of all, they used a new upcoming platform at the time, which is very mainstream now. They used a very good platform. They used a very simple challenge, and it was.
And the good thing was it was in a market because it was like mostly done in India. So they were using a market that was not so used to like TikTok and the challenges that were happening in there. And so they were able to kind of get like that first mover advantage of being like the challenge to do in that area. And so if you can get into a place where there isn't much challenges and stuff, you're going to be known as like the TikTok challenge. Yeah. Like imagine being the brand that could do the renegade, like could be known as the renegade, like or the woe. Yeah, it's crazy. So they've done really well there, and stuff, especially because they've had a couple of issues of like Purell due to the FTC and ASCA of not being able to market too much.
Okay.
Which is funny because Purell, Dettol, they're selling out more than anything. But at the moment they're not allowed to market to like and talk about the coronavirus too much because it's like something against the advertising laws that they're not allowed to like market and make money off of diseases.
That's actually funny you say that because I was about to go into that with a lot of these examples that we just sort of went through. A lot of them, I don't know, are they doing it for there's a lot of different thoughts and ideas behind those campaigns and stuff. One thing that a lot of companies get criticized for is whatever they're doing, is it just for clout? Is it just for award? A lot of these things are award worthy. And Burger King is one of the brands that are most known for doing this. They did the moldy burger. The question was in that campaign and some of the campaigns that they've done here, is it actually providing any what do you call it? ROI? Any specific sort of return of investment on their campaigns, or is it just to have a nice award from doing something creative? Is that balance?
I think the good thing with this is that it's like with most of this stuff, it is helping other people, especially with like the Burger King and stuff. Apart from like the light entertainment and like just the working from home content, the majority of it is helping people either through education, through entertainment, even the ones through entertainment, or actually helping people within the community. That even if they are just doing it for awards, just for PR, at the end of the day, people are still benefit from it. And so that's where the line is. Like, it's okay to kind of take advantage of a situation like this if you can, in order to get that extra thing, as long as people, the actual audience or the actual communities are benefiting in the long run. As long as those people are getting either entertainment value, information, or like monetary or informational, as long as they're benefiting, I think it's okay. I think they deserve to, they don't deserve to have an award, but I'm not going to have a go at them for it.
No.
But it will be interesting to see like stuff like the Drum Awards like next year based off of this and see.
Oh, for sure.
Do you think they've had just like a straight out ban against all coronavirus stuff?
They should definitely make one award just dedicated to coronavirus campaigns and stuff.
Oh yeah.
However, I the reason why I'm saying this, just to sort of throw a discussion in, is just because usually the Drum Award commentators are quite, this is just for award, or this is like an actual ROI positive campaign. and they discuss that sometimes. But yeah, I'll agree with you at the end. Like, I think it's no matter what, both end wins. So
it will be interesting though to see which ones continue to do well after once everything starts to go back to a little bit normal. I don't think it'll ever go back to completely normal. I think interesting to see.
I think a retention strategy should be in place once this thing is over in order to survive and benefit from whatever campaign that's been put out.
So overall, the main thing is just make sure that you're helping other people. Make sure you're providing valuable content. And I know we say it a lot. We say constantly, both in our videos, on this podcast,
in person, all the time.
That's basically exactly what I was going to say. Is that if you're around us and you know us, we constantly say that you need to provide value-focused content first, and it's the same thing here. In this time, in this crazy time that we're living in, it's the same thing. It's just changing the way you do it in order to make sure that it's appropriate in the context that we are. So just to go over those things that they were. So the ways you can do this with your content is by helping the community, providing mental health and care. Obviously, if it's not suitable to your particular brand persona, personality, don't do that. And also, it's only during this time. You can support small businesses and workers. Change your entire brand approach. So if you have a different way that you could be providing your product or your service or your brand specifically in this time, maybe completely switch it up. You can offer free content. You can offer helpful content that's educational or informational. Ask your audience, just straight up ask them what they want to see. You can do virtual participation to get people involved online. Help reduce fake news. Work from home education, and also you can just provide some light entertainment so that people don't have to think about everything that's going on outside. Okay, that was a long thing, wasn't it, Daniel?
Yeah, well done. I like it. Good breakdown. I like it.
Thank you. So where can they see us if they want to catch up with this and they want to ask any questions, Daniel?
There's a lot of options. We'll just go from the top. If you're watching this on video on YouTube, you can see us on YouTube on Millennial Marketers. And if you like to know when we're going to post, you can hit the bell button. Yes, I'm still learning. Bell button. And if you just want to keep in touch with us, hit the subscribe button too. But if you want to ask any questions and have conversations with us, most likely Twitter is the best option, which is MilMarketers, at MilMarketers, which is everything I'm going to say now is going to be sound more fluent, and it's going to be provided in the description below in the video and in the podcast. If you're listening on any radio podcast device, it's going to be in the show reel, right?
Yeah, the show notes.
Show notes.
So there'll be a link tree there. So you just click that and then go through to either the Twitter or whatever it is you need to.
Perfect.
Also,
people know it.
Yeah, exactly. People know. Hopefully by now they do. But if you have a platform that we haven't been on yet, because there are so many podcast platforms and people are always finding new ones. If there is one we're not on yet, let us know and we'll make sure to get it on there through our RSS feed. We will see you then, same time, Sundays afternoons. Have a lovely rest of your day.